Today we're going to go through and talk about how to perform operations with functions. So if you look at, if you go to this first page of notes there, really the hardest part of this is just understanding the notation. So if you look at this first one, the way you say this is f plus g, f plus g of x. And what it really means is this, is you take f of x, the function f of x, and you just add the function g of x to it. A lot of times, and I'll show you some examples of this, but if you write the problem this way, I think it makes a little more sense in our brain. But again, the way we say that is f plus g of x. So this next one is f minus g of x, but again, it just means f of x minus g of x. F times g of x, which again just means take what f of x is and times g of x. And the last one, f divided by g of x, which just means to take f of x over g of x. So write all those down. A lot of times we see it written this way, and it doesn't make sense to us, but we get it written this way, and it does make more sense. So the first step we're always going to do is rewrite it, and then we'll perform the operations. You'll see what that looks like. So let's do an example of addition. So this one says, right, it says f of n equals 3n minus 3, and g of n equals 2n minus 1. It wants us to find f plus g of n. So always start like this. Rewrite it as being f of n plus g of n. And then all we're going to do is take what f of n is, and it's right here. F of n is equal to 3n minus 3. You're going to replace the f of n with what it's equal to. Plus, then take g of n. G of n is 2n minus 1. And that's it. Just rewrite it like that. F of n plus g of n. And really, that's my answer other than simplifying. So there is some simplifying we can do here. We have some like terms. I have 3n and 2n, so that'd be 5n. I've got a minus 3 minus 1, so that'd be a minus 4. So I come up here, f plus g of n is equal to 5n minus 4. So again, steps. Start by rewriting it. So f plus g of n, right, as f of n plus g of n. Then you're just replacing f of n with what it equals, the 3n minus 3. Replace g of n with what it equals, the 2n minus 1. And that really is your answer, but we just want it in simplest form. So we combine like terms and simplify it from there. The second type of addition problem you'll end up with is like this. So it says g of t equals t squared plus 2. F of t equals 4t minus 3. And it wants us to find g plus f of 1. The difference is over here is I didn't have a number to plug in. I just had an n there. On this one, I know what I'm plugging in a number, which is 1. Okay, do the exact same thing we just did. We're going to rewrite it as being g of 1 plus f of 1. Those are the same things. Now, because I have a number to plug in, I'm just going to figure out what is g of 1 equal to. So come up here and plug in 1. So g of 1 equals 1 squared plus 2. Well, see, 1 squared is 1, plus 2 is 3. So g of 1 comes out to be 3. Plus, and now let's do the same thing with f of 1. So again, I come to this function. I'm going to plug 1 in. So f of 1 equals 4 times 1 plus 3. So work that out. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7. So f of 1 comes out to be 7. So again, all I did is plugged 1 into g, plugged 1 into f, figure out what they're equal to, and now this tells me that I'm just adding. So I'm just adding them together. 3 plus 7 is 10. So come back up here. I know I made a mess, circling everything, but g plus f of 1 is equal to 10. That's my answer right there. So that's with addition. The other operations are just the same other than they're with the other operations. So let's do this, and this was a subtraction. This one does have one little trick to it, a really common error that we make. But our first step's still the same. What does f minus g of n mean? Well, that means I'm going to take f of n minus g of n. Okay, now I don't have a number to plug in, so just replace f of n with what f of n equals up there, which is a 2n minus 1. Minus g of n. Now this is a tricky part. If you're subtracting, I'm subtracting n minus 4, I've got to put it in parentheses. And the reason why is because that minus applies not just to the n, but to the minus 4. So now let's simplify that. I have 2n minus 1, This minus, if you remember when we did these earlier in the semester or trimester, the minus 1 has to carry through, so the minus does. So it becomes minus n, and the minus a negative 4 becomes plus 4. Okay, now just combine like terms, simplify. I've got 2n minus 1n. That would be 1n. N. I got minus 1 plus 4. That'd be a positive 3, so n plus 3. So there's my answer. F minus g of n equals n plus 3. So it's just like the addition. Just remember, put the second expression in parentheses so you can make sure you carry that minus through. But other than that, it's just like the addition. Let's come over and do this one. This time I've got a number to plug in. I'm plugging in 9. So again, rewrite it. I have g of 9 minus f of 9. Okay, now because I have a number to plug in, I'm actually going to plug it in there. So let's figure out what g of 9 equals. So I'm going to plug 9 in up here. So g of 9 equals 3 times 9 minus 1. 3 times 9 is 27. 27 minus 1 is 26. Minus, and now I got to figure out what f of 9 is. So I'm going to come right here and plug f of 9 in. Plug 9 into f. So 3 times 9 plus 5. I'll see, 3 times 9 is 27, plus 5 is 32. Okay, so if I subtract those, I have my answer. 26 minus 32, I think comes out to be a negative 6. So there's my answer. G minus f of 9 equals negative 6. We'll do examples of multiplication and division also, but really it's just the same process each time. Rewrite it, and then you're gonna, if you know what x is, plug the numbers in, find out they're equal to, and then you're gonna add, subtract, multiply, and divide them depending on what it tells you to do. If you don't know what the number is, you just take the two expressions and add, subtract, multiply, or divide them. Okay, so this one again, I don't know what I'm plugging in, or I don't know, I don't have a number to plug in, I just have an x there. So I'm gonna rewrite it as being f of x times g of x. Okay, f of x is equal to x minus 5. Now in this case, you're multiplying them, and because you have more than one term, you're probably, to be safe, you want to put it in parentheses. And g of x has 4 of x, has 4x, excuse me. We want to times those together. You can put that in parentheses if you want to, but it only has one term. Okay, so now we have to distribute. So x times 4x, 4x squared, a minus 5 times 4x, it's minus 20x, and we're done. So exactly the same process. The only difference is, instead of adding or subtracting, now I'm multiplying because of that multiplication right there. Okay, now I've got, on this next example, again, I have a number. So again, rewrite it. I'm taking g of 2 times and f of 2. Okay, start with this one. What is g of 2? We've done this a lot before. So g of 2 is equal to 4 times 2 plus 2. So 4 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. Okay, then we're going to do f of 2. So we're going to plug f of 2. So that would be 2 squared minus 4 minus 2 times 2. So we'll see 2 squared is 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. 0 minus 4 is a negative 4. So this one comes out to be a negative 4. And now we just multiply them together. 8 times negative 4 is negative 32. So again, find out what g of 2 is, find out what f of 2 is, and then because it's multiplication, we just multiply them together. Okay, the last example we're going to do is division. So it says find g over h of t, which really means g divided by h of t. I'll just rewrite it, just like we talked about. I'm going to write it as being g of t over h of t. Okay. Now in this case, I don't have a number to plug in, so just plug in what g of t is. It's right there, right? So 2t minus 1 over, and h of t. H of t is equal to that. Okay, that's my answer. In this case, with the division one, they look a little scarier, but we don't have to worry about simplifying them. That makes it pretty easy to do. Okay, I'll see this one over here. G divided by h of 3. So that means to take g of 3 divided by h of 3. So in this case, I have a number to plug in. So I got to come up here and plug 3 into g. So it's going to be negative 3 times 3 cubed plus 5 times 3. And we got to figure out that is. You can shove that whole thing in a calculator. That first 3 cubed is 27 times the negative 3, I think, is negative 81. 5 times 3 is, oh, shoot. Almost made a mistake. That should be a square up there, right? So 3 squared is 9 times 5 is 45. So we get up negative 81 plus 45. I think it comes out to be negative 36. But again, we can plug that in a calculator if you wanted to. Then at the bottom, plug 3 in. So if I plug 3 into h of 3, that'd be 3 plus 5 is 8. Right? H of 3 equals 3 plus 5. So that comes out to be 8. Divide those. I think it's a negative 4.5. Okay, is my answer. It comes out to be. So with each of those operations, again, rewrite them. It helps if you rewrite it this way. So like that or like that. Then you're just plugging in whatever it asks for. Then simplify it if possible, and you got your answer. Okay, let me know if you have questions. But that is it for the operations of functions.